everybody? It's your boy Joseph Rothschild, aka
I am
MBT, and we are back with another Twitter thread. Today we're talking about cards that should have an archetype but don't. What iconic or interesting cards from Yu-Gi-Oh's history do you wish they would flesh out into an entire archetype? And I'm beginning with one of my favorites, Dekoichi, the battle-chanted locomotive. This card was everywhere during GOAT format. Flip, draw a card, then draw an additional card for each face-up Dekoichi, the frightening car you control. Would you be surprised to learn this card did not see very much play at all? I'd like to see this revamped for the modern age. Maybe you add a couple more little cards to the train. Maybe some of them are actually good. Maybe the end goal of this deck is you like link a train all the way across the track and make a U-link and then draw a couple of cards. Wouldn't that be fun? Let's see what you all came up with. Dual Daddy says, give us the dark version of Voiceless Voice. What are we calling this one? So instead of being voiceless and still having an impact on discussion, they won't shut the hell up and nobody ever listens to them. Perfect. We call it the... Farfa says, I don't know why, but I've always wanted a fully fleshed out coin flip deck. Probably best to start with this guy. There's 1 to 2 cards that overlap with one another, but a full archetype of coin flip cards that do broken shit to your opponent or yourself would be hilarious. I can't tell if it's good or bad that we don't have a good coin flip deck. Arcana Force, I think, is the only coin flip deck that we've even remotely come close to actualizing, and it's terrible. It's so bad. They've given it 3 extra waves of legacy support. It doesn't do a goddamn thing. It's a bunch of design space that would be interesting to tread into, but as anyone who's played Pokemon Pocket can probably tell you, games coming down to coin flips isn't always all it's cracked up to be. Castle of Dark Illusions and King of Yamimamaki, which I don't want to see anymore after that Doug video, are a couple of cards in a suite of monsters that just have like the wrong stats. Stats that rather than ending in a 0 or a 5 end in like 20, 30. Most of these were Panics monsters, so I think it's probably just a matter of time before we see a retrain. But I would like to see something done with all the cards that don't end in 5 or 0 and be collected into an archetype. Dyer says, where are the other World Carrotweight competitors? Show me his rival he fought with for years to get the title. Show me the announcer. Show me the ring they compete in as a field spell. Unfortunately, I hate to tell this to you, there are no other entries to the World Carrotweight tournament. He's the champion just for showing up. What a fraud. GCD says it does have an archetype in the anime only. Fusion Parasite has a very unique combination of effects, and if it had more enablers, it could become very interesting using some of the fun forgotten fusions. Oh, is the concept for Fusion Parasite, it enables these like very specific material fusions that have been sort of dribbling out of Konami's pack filler for the last like 10 or 12 sets? That's kind of sick. Shay said they started with an idea, Lodgin the mystical Genie of the Lamp and Ancient Lamp, and then they never went further with it. A whole archetype based on the lamp would be pretty neat. You know, it's unfortunate. Yu-Gi-Oh! So based on Egyptian mythology, it is kind of nice to see like, oh, this is like 1001 Arabian Nights, you know, not so much like hieroglyphics and stuff like that, except they never really fleshed it out. They were just like, and that's all we need to do. You know, the lamp, the genie, it's all done. Trevor Allen says, I'd be willing to bet that nobody remembers this line of cards or theme. Wrong. Very wrong. I have core memories of Majestic Mech Oka because I had it in ulti as a child, one of the very few ultis I pulled, and it's a damn beautiful card. In 2007's Enemy of Justice, we got the Majestic mechs alongside a few spells and traps supported the playstyle. All the effects are similar-ish, but they have absolutely zero cohesion. If you're unfamiliar with the effects, they're usually high-statted single tribute monsters that can be summoned without tribute, but die at the end of the turn and have halved attack and defense. There are almost a dozen similar occurrences in sets older than half the player base, but I love these as a kid. They always stood out to me. They were all available in Ultimate, so it seemed like Konami wanted them to catch our eye at the time. I think the closest these cards ever got to playable was that one that we played in that terrible week where I Wish built a progression playoff deck that was like sit on the 2900 mech and pray. Crashbugs, baby. I'm going to be honest, Auntie, I think you're the only one who wants this. We've gotten solid rank 3 support over the years. A full retrain would do these guys some good. Make them cybers. It fits even better. They're computer viruses. They summon each other. They just summon each other. They're Auntie is out here making content about Crashbugs. Come on. Callie is out here unlocking core memories. I forgot how many fucking tight ass rituals they made and then just never fleshed out past the original print of the card. Look at this guy. Raychef the Dark Being can only be ritual summoned by the ritual spell card Final Ritual of the Ancients. You're going to name the ritual Final Ritual of the Ancients. You're never going to make anything else about him. Once returned by discarding a spell card, take control of a monster on your opponent's side of the field until the end of the turn. It's Snatch Steal. Is this guy the final boss of Raychef Chef of Destruction. I do not care about his effect. I need to know why the miasma is so rancid. Contained within a tiny creature all through a long, detailed story intertwined with a bunch of other archetypes. I don't need to know more about the rosy-cheeked bubonic vermin. The root cards! Correct! Red blossoms from underroot, terrors of the underroot, and terrors of the overroot, and terrors of the side root, and joy of the overroot, and, you know, evil baby fear of the underroot. These cards share very little in terms of what their effects do. They've all come with large gaps between them, but for some reason they share a naming convention and the same scythe-wielding girl in the art. They feel on the fringe of playable, but they just aren't. We all thought, oh my god, another ghost girl, and then we read it and we were like, oh, this card sucks. Randomly shows up in an early-ish DM pack, leaves True Chad. I'm gonna be honest with you, I think this is a reference to the final boss of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's crazy, there's another Zorc, and they're like, I guess that's him, sort of. Like, he looks completely different. I don't know. The creator! God, I love the creator! I thought this guy was so fucking tight as a kid, but all he ever had going for him was creator, the creator incarnate, evil creator from Phantom Darkness, and the chaos creator. You know, this is the guy who keeps putting unnecessary sex scenes in all of the movies. Another banger-ass, baller-ass ritual with no associated archetype. I need to know more about Zera the Mant. Where did he get the cape with the popped collar? Why is his jaw so dislocated? Whose skull is housing his penis? Yes! Yes, where are the masks? Wow, such a good answer. Great answer. There's so many mask cards. There's a masked beast ritual spell. Speaking of another old ritual that needs to be retrained for some reason, I don't know why there is not a substantive mask archetype the same way there is for, like, they made a Chimera one. I was honestly very shocked this didn't develop into anything. You have unique design for a spellcaster, a specific name, possible archetype name, June Moon, and an interesting effect for an archetype based around spell trap cards in the back row. Why doesn't it do anything? Maybe we'll come back in 3 or 4 years and we'll be like, can you imagine when we thought that June Moon was going to be a one-off and not the central character in Yu-Gi-Oh's lore? Another dumb-ass fucking ritual from DM they just refused to do anything with. This is the final boss of the virtual world arc. The arc has the universe inside it. I also just assumed Mystrick was a thing that cards could be, and they got effects based on, like, the type of card that they use. But this is the only guy, right? Soul Fusion, this card is damn old. M Warriors. Yes! I want to see their VTuber archetypes. For those of you who don't know, the M Warriors are the 3rd most popular VTubers on the planet. Trouble Sunny, #1 VTuber, then Kiss-a-Kill Leela, #2. #3, the M Warriors. We have to get the M Warriors. Yeah, I don't really know what's going on here. Navy Dragon Mech, Vermilion Dragon Mech. Are we getting another Dragon Mech? Come on. Machine King. It's Machine King. It's unbelievable. You know what's crazy? Is when I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Again after the hiatus in Dragon Ruler, I was like, I'm sure Machine King has been retrained by now. I just took it for granted. I'm like, someone was telling me a machine deck was really cool. They meant wind up. I'm like, oh, they must have finally retrained Machine King. No, he's just chilling. I hate to do it. We keep doing it. I hate to give Konami free money. But folks, if you want to see these cards fleshed out into full-fledged archetypes, you'll just have to open packs in 2026 once Yu-Gi-Oh! The Gathering has stolen more ideas from this series. See you next time. Give us more lore for the guys on paper, airplanes. Okay, real quick. Why did they censor Soitsu's crack? Dyer, put up Soitsu's crack. Give him his crack back.